The 1% execution trap. Ethereum's execution budget is only 100 milliseconds out of every 12 seconds. That is less than 1% of the time spent actually doing the work users pay for. The rest of the block time is effectively wasted waiting for validators on the other side of the planet to sign off on what just happened before moving to the next block. This is the execution budget trap. It forces traditional blockchains to set extremely conservative gas limits because if the code takes too long to run, the whole network stalls. To scale the system, you have to stop treating execution as a prerequisite for consensus. This leads to a shift toward the asynchronous execution model. Agree first, execute later. Monad solves this by decoupling consensus from execution, essentially adopting an agree first, execute later logic. In this design, nodes reach agreement on the official sequence of transactions before they ever run the actual smart contract code. Consensus and execution operate as two separate threads in a pipeline, meaning a validator can finalize the order of block 2 while still processing the computation for block 1. This decoupling allows nodes to utilize the entire block time for heavy execution, while the next block's ordering is already being negotiated in the background. It is the architectural equivalent of a factory, where the logistics team schedules the next hour of production while the assembly line is still finishing the current batch, ensuring the machinery never sits idle. This pipelining is what enables the system to target 10,000 transactions per second without breaking EVM compatibility. The live stress test of 2026. As of June 2026, the Monad mainnet has transitioned from a theoretical research project to a production network with over 200 active validators and nearly 300 million processed transactions. The recent MIP-12 proposal, introduced just weeks ago, highlights the team's shift toward aggressive latency optimization. By proposing a reduction in the consensus voting cycle from 400 milliseconds down to 300 milliseconds, the protocol is testing the limits of global network propagation. This upgrade includes a trade-off where the transaction limit per block is lowered to 700 mins and 50 to maintain stability during these faster cycles. For the first time, we are seeing how a parallel execution engine behaves under real-world contention, where thousands of unique addresses are competing for the same state in a low-latency environment. The data suggests that the ceiling for high-performance blockchains is no longer about raw volume, but about how quickly a network can recover from leader failure without stalling the execution pipeline. The signal under the noise. The real implication of the Monad architecture is the total commoditization of the Ethereum virtual machine. By breaking the 1% execution trap, this design proves that the bottleneck was never the EVM itself, but the synchronous handholding of traditional consensus protocols. For developers and infrastructure operators, this shifts the engineering focus from gas optimization hacks to managing state access patterns and database latency. The connecting thread between the asynchronous model and the recent MIP-12 upgrade is a move toward a network that behaves more like a high-frequency trading engine than a static ledger. What matters now is not just that the transactions are parallel, but that the state database can keep up with the execution thread without creating a new bottleneck. As the network approaches its major November unlock cliff, the key indicator of success will be whether the validator set remains geographically diverse enough to support these SUB 400 millisecond finality targets. We are watching for any increase in missed blocks, as a signal that the physical speed of light is finally becoming the primary constraint on blockchain performance. Subscribe for more